Bless you all. Bless you all. Bless you all. And I pray that let the Spirit of God take its place in the name of Jesus. As we read what the scripture says, and this day we shall be understanding the book of Enoch. We shall be understanding the man that was said in Genesis that he walked right with God. Now, and we began to ask, how can a man walk just right with God and suddenly God just had to take him away? So as I was searching, I came across these scriptures that talks about this great man of God called Enoch that went to heaven without dying, according to what the scripture is telling us. Amen. So the book of Enoch, chapter 1. The word of the blessing of Enoch, how he blessed the elect and the righteous, who were to exist in the time of trouble, rejecting all the wicked and ungodly. Enoch, a righteous man, who was one with God, answered and spoke while his eyes were open, and while he saw a holy vision in the heavens. This the angels showed me. From them I heard all things and understood what I saw, that which will not take place in this generation, but in the generation which is to succeed at the distant period, on account of the elect. Upon their account I speak and converse with them, who will go forth from this habitation, and holy and the holy and mighty one, the God of the world, who will hereafter treat upon Mount Zion, appear with his host, be manifested in the strength of his power from heaven. All shall be afraid, and the watchers be terrified. But to them shall be given peace. He shall preserve the elect, and towards them exercise clemency. Then shall all belong to God. Be happy and blessed. The splendor of the Godhead shall illuminate them. Behold, he comes with 10,000 of his saints, execute judgment upon them, and destroyed the wicked, and reprove all the carnal for everything which their sinful and ungodly have done and committed against him. All who are in the heavens know what is transacted there. They know that the heavenly luminaries change not their path, that each rises and sets regularly, everyone at its proper period, without transgressing their command which they have received. They behold the earth and understand what is there transacted, what is there transacted from the beginning to the end of it. They see that every work of God is invariable in the period of its appearance. They behold summer and winter, perceiving that the whole earth is full of water, and that the cloud, the dew, the rain refresh it. They consider and behold every tree, how it appeared to wither, and every leaf to fall off, except of 14 trees which are not deciduous, which wait from the old to the appearance of the new leaf for 2 or 3 winters. Again, they consider the days of summer, that the sun is upon it, and its every beginning. While you seek for a covered and shady spot on account of the burning sun, while the earth is scorched up with fervid heat, and you become incapable of walking either upon the ground or upon the rock in consequence of that heat. They considered how the trees, when they put forth their green leaves, become covered. They consider fruit, understanding everything and knowing that he who lives forever does all things for you, that the work at the beginning of every existing year, that all his works and subservient to him and invariable, yet as God has appointed, so all things brought to pass. They see too how the seas and the rivers together complete their respective operations. But you endure not patiently, nor fulfill the commandment of the Lord, but you transgress the calumniate his greatness, and malignant are the words in your polluted mouth against his majesty. Ye withered in heart, no peace shall be for you. Therefore your days shall be cursed, and the years of your lives shall perish. Perpetual execration shall be multiplied, and you shall not obtain mercy. In those days shall you resign your peace with the eternal malediction of all righteousness, and sinners shall perpetually execrate you, with the ungodly. The elect shall possess light, joy, peace, and they shall inherit the earth. But you ungodly shall be accursed. Then shall wisdom be given to the elect, all of whom shall live, and not again transgress by empathy or pride, but shall humble themselves, pressing prudence, and shall not repeat transgression. They shall not be condemned the whole period of their lives, nor die in torment and indignation. But the sum of their days shall be completed, and shall grow old in peace, while the years of their happiness shall be multiplied with joy and with peace forever, the whole duration of their existence. It happened after the Son of Man had multiplied in those days. The daughters were born to them, elegant and beautiful. And when the angels, the sons of heaven, beheld them, they became enormous of them, saying to each other, Come, let us select for ourselves wives from the progeny of men, and let us beget children. Now, we have to understand that knowledge is profitable to direct. You understand? Just as wisdom is profitable to direct, knowledge too is profitable. And we understand that the book of Enoch was actually taken away from the Bible because of one or two certain decisions that were taken, that which we are going to discuss about it in the books to come. Now, in a summary, we understand that the book of Enoch talks a lot about, it talks a lot about the things that are to happen, the things that happen. In fact, it probably describes the whole Bible. It talks about Genesis. It talks about from Genesis to Revelation. It actually explains, everything that happened. So when you read it, because we are not forbidden from reading those books, that's why it's good to read some certain books and expand your understanding. You understand? So in this part it says, that's chapter 7, it says, it happened after the sons of men had multiplied in those days, that the daughters were born to them, elegant and beautiful. And when the angels, the sons of heaven, beheld them, they became enormous of them, saying to each other, Come, let us select for ourselves wives from the progeny of men, and let us beget children. So here are the angels that are actually talking. The angels from heaven, they looked down on earth and they saw the daughters of men. They saw the women that were on earth. They were so beautiful. And so these angels became lost, and they said to themselves, Let us go down on earth and have fun. Let us go down on earth and meet with these wives, meet with these women, so we can have children with them. Do you get it? So that we can have children with them. Now, then their leader, Samnyaza. So this was the leader of the angels that were in heaven, Samnyaza. Samnyaza said to them, I fear that you may perhaps be indisposed to the performance of this enterprise, and that I alone shall suffer for so grievous a crime. But they answered to him and said, We all swear and bind ourselves by mutual execration, that we will not change our intention, but execute our projected undertaking. Then they swore all together, and all bound themselves by mutual execration. Their whole number was 200, and were 200 who descended upon Ardis, which is the top of the Mount Almon. That mountain therefore was called Almon, because they had sworn upon it and bound themselves by mutual execration. So here you have to understand that at this particular point, angels were having direct contact. with the earth. Those were people that were called the watchers. Do you get it? Those were people that were called the watchers. They were actually called the watchers. So they had access on earth, that is both in and out. They had both access to the earth, so they could see the things that were happening. But here you understand that there were actually 200 angels who took a vow, who took an undertaking that we are not going to change our mind from what we have said we are going to do. So you see, they are not going to change their mind from the decisions they have actually taken that they are going to do. So there are people who are very staying, that if we have said we are going to do this thing, no matter what you do, they are going to do that thing. You kind of get it. Now, these are the names of their chiefs. That is the chiefs of the angels that decided to come down and have fun with the daughters of men. We have Samyaza, who was their leader. Orakabaramiel, Akibel, Tamiel, Sam Ramnuel, Daniel, Askel, Saratniel, Asnae, Armes, Batras, Anan, Zavebe, Samvebel, Samsavil, Ertiel, Turel, Yomniel, Arazia. These were prefects of the 200 angels, and the remainder were all with them. They took their wives, each choosing for himself, whom they began to approach, and with whom they cohabited, teaching them sorcery, incantation, and the dividing of roots and trees. And the women conceiving brought forth giants. So you see the story of giants now is coming in, the Nephilims, whose statues were each 300 cubits. They devoured all which the labor of men produced, until it became impossible to feed them. When they turned themselves against men in order to devour them, and began to injure birds, beasts, reptiles, and fish, to eat their flesh one after another, and to drink their blood, then the earth reproved the unrighteous. Moreover, Azania taught men to make swords, knives, shades, breastplates, the fabrication of mirrors, and the workmanship of bracelet and ornament, the use of paint, the beautifying of eyebrows, the use of stones of every valuable and selected kind, and of all sorts of dyes, so that the world became altered. So now you have to understand that everything that happened, when people say, oh, geography did this, geography did that, these were books that were actually taken, and here it is telling us that a man or an angel from heaven that was among the angels that came down and have intercourse with the daughters of men and had begotten giant, brought forth Nephilims, great giants that were about 3 feet 3 cubits. You understand? Feet tall, great giants. But yet these giants ate everything on their way until they became hungry. Now you have to understand that at that point, angels that were on earth were the ones that were teaching men technology. It's so funny, right? The angels were the one teaching men technology. You see how an angel taught men swords, knives, shield, breastplate in order to fight war. So you have to understand that the heavens had all of these things, but the earth had no notion concerning this. So these angels now came forth, and then they started teaching men all of these things. And that is how they started making a lot of weapons. You understand? Angels taught men how to make knives, sword, shield, breastplate, fabrication of mirrors. That was the work of an angel. Now this angel taught people how to create these weapons in order to fight war, after they came down and had intercourse with women from heaven. Now it says empathy increased, fornication multiplied, and they transgressed and corrupted all their ways. And Marazak taught all the sorcerers and dividers of roots. Adme taught the solution of sorcery. Now you begin to understand. Now you have to understand that Amarazak, these were the leaders of the 200 angels that came down, who sworn upon themselves that they are going to have wives with the daughters of men. Do you get it? They had to swear that they will have wives for themselves and have children. Now the angels, after they had that intercourse, they started teaching all of these women, you know, a lot of things which were forbidden. Barkaya taught the observers of the stars. Akibe taught science. Tamie taught astronomy. And Asaradel taught the motion of the moon. And men, being destroyed, cried out, and their voice reached heaven. Now the voice of men reached heaven. Then Michael and Gabriel, Raphael, Surya, and Uriel looked down from heaven and saw the quantity of blood which was shed on earth, and all the iniquities which was upon it, and said to one another, it is the voice of their cries. The earth deprived of her children has cried even to the gate of heaven. And now to you, O ye holy ones of heaven, the souls of men complain, saying, obtain justice for us with the Most High, with one the Most High. Then they said to their Lord, the King, thou art Lord of lords, God of gods, King of kings. The throne of thy glory is forever and ever, and forever and ever is thy name sanctified and glorified. Thou art blessed and glorified. Thou hast made all things. Thou possessed power over all things, and all things are open and manifest before thee. Thou beholdest all things, and nothing can be concealed from thee. Thou hast seen the Azazel, thou hast seen what Azazel has done, how he has taught every species of iniquity upon earth, and has disclosed to the world all the secret things which are done in the heavens. Samyaza also has taught sorcery, to whom thou hast given authority over those who are associated with him. They have gone together to the daughters of men, have laid with them, have become polluted, and have discovered crime to them. The women likewise have brought forth giants. Thou hast the whole earth been filled with blood and with iniquities, and complain even to the gates of heaven. Their grooming are sent, nor can they escape from the unrighteousness which is committed on earth. Thou knowest all things before thou existed. Thou knowest all things, and what has been done by them. Yet thou dost not speak to us. What on account of these things ought we to do with them? Then the Most High, the Great and the Holy One, spoke, and sent Asaiah to the son of Lamech, saying, Say to him in my name, conceal thyself. Explain to him the consummation which is about to take place. For all the earth shall perish. The waters of the deluge shall come over the whole earth, and all things which are in it shall be destroyed. And now teach him how he may escape, and how his seed may remain in all the earth. Again the Lord said to Raphael, Bind Azazel hand and foot, cast him into darkness, and open the desert which is in Dudal, cast him there. Throw upon him whole and pointed stones, covered him with darkness. There shall he remain forever. Cover his face, that he may not see the light. And in the great day of judgment, let him be cast into the fire. My God, restore the earth which the angels have corrupted, and announce life to it, that I may revive it. All the sons of men shall not perish in consequence of every secret, by which the watchers have destroyed, and which they have taught their offsprings. All the earth has been corrupted by the effect of the teaching of Azazel. To him therefore ascribe the whole crime. To Gabriel also the Lord said, Go to the beaters, to the reprobate, to the children of fornication, and destroy the children of fornication, the offsprings of the watchers. For among them bring them forth, and excite them one against another. Let them perish by mutual slaughter, for length of days shall not be theirs. They shall entreat thee, but their father shall not obtain their wishes respecting them. For they shall hope for eternal life, and that they may live, each of them 500. To Michael likewise the Lord said, Go and announce his crime to Samyaza and to the others who are with him, who have been associated with women, they have, and that they might be polluted with all their impurity. And when all their sons shall be slain, when they shall see the perdition of the beloved, bind them for 70 generations underneath the earth, even to the days of judgment and consummation and of consummation unto the judgment, the effect of which will last forever, be completed. Then shall they be taken away into the lowest part of the fire in torment, and in the feminine confinement shall they be shut up forever. Immediately after this shall he, together with them, burn and perish. They shall be bound unto the consummation of many generations. Destroy all the souls addicted to the lions and the offsprings of the watchers, for they have tyrannized over mankind. Let every oppressor perish from the face of the earth. Let every evil work be destroyed. The plants of righteousness and of rectitude appear, and its produce to become a blessing, Righteousness and rectitude shall be for every planted with delight. And then shall all the saints give thanks and live until they have begotten 1,000 children, while the whole period of their youth and their Sabbath shall be completed in peace. In those days all the earth shall be cultivated in righteousness. It shall be wholly planted with trees, and filled with benediction, and every tree of delight shall be planted in it. In it shall vine be planted, and the vine which shall be planted in it shall yield fruit to satiety. Every seed which shall be sown in it shall produce for 1 measure 1,000, and 1 measure of olives shall produce 10 press of oil. Purify the earth from all oppression, from all injustice, from all crime, from all impiety, and from all the pollution which is committed upon it. Exterminate them from the earth. Then shall all the children of men be righteous, and all nations shall pay me divine honor, and bless me, and all shall adore me. The earth shall be cleansed from all corruption, from every crime, from all punishment, and from all suffering. Neither will I again send a deluge upon it from generation to generation forever. In those days I will open a treasure of blessing which are in heaven, that I may cause them to descend upon it and upon all the works and labor of men. Peace and equity shall associate with the sons of men all the days of the world, in every generation of it. Before all these things, Enoch was conceived, nor did any one of the sons of men knew he was conceived, where he had been, and what had happened. He was wholly engaged with the Holy One and with the watchers in his days. I, Enoch, was blessing the great Lord and the King of peace, and behold, the watchers caught me Enoch the script. Then the Lord said to me, Enoch, script of righteousness, go tell the watchers of heaven who have deserted the lofty sky and their holy everlasting station, who have been polluted with women and have done as the sons of men do by taking themselves wives, and who have been greatly corrupted on the earth, that on the earth they shall never obtain peace and remission of sins, for they shall not rejoice in their offsprings. They shall behold the slaughter of their beloved, shall lament for the destruction of their sons, and shall petition forever, but shall not obtain mercy. Then Enoch, passing on, said to Azazel, thou shalt not obtain peace. A great sentence is gone forth against thee. He shall bind thee, neither shall relieve. Mercy and supplication be thine, on account of the oppression which thou hast taught, on the account of every act of blasphemy, tyranny, and sin, which thou hast discovered to the children of men. Then departing from him, I spoke to them all together, and they all became terrified and trembled, beseech me to write for them a memorial of supplication, that they might obtain forgiveness, and that I might make the memorial of their prayer ascend up before the God of heaven, because they could not themselves henceforward address him, nor raise up their word to heaven, on account of the disgraceful offense for which they were judged. Then I wrote a memorial of their prayer and supplication for their spirit, for everything which they have done, and for the subject of their entity, that they might obtain remission and rest. Proceeding on, I continued over the waters of Badan, which is on the right to the west of Alma, reading the memorial of their prayer until I fell asleep. And behold, a dream came to me, a vision appeared above me. I fell down and saw a vision of punishment, that I might relate it to the sons of heaven and reprove them. When I awoke, I went to them, all being collected. Hallelujah. So here we understand that since the angels of heaven came down on earth as they met with the daughters of men, they gave birth to giants. Now these giants and all the sons, they became giants, and because of lack of food, they had to start destroying even their children. They had to start destroying the people of the earth. You understand? And when they started destroying the people of the earth, God was now angry. And now there was a man that was called Enoch, and Enoch wasn't around. They never noticed Enoch because Enoch was busy having visions, traveling to heavens all the time. So now, because God has already sentenced them, because these angels had to teach men how to make all kind of things. We see people like Azamnia, or angels like Azamnia, who had to teach men how to make weapons, how to make spears, how to make eyebrows, and so many other things. which had to lead to destruction on the earth. So now when God has sentenced them, they noticed a man of God called Enoch, and they told Enoch to write a petition letter, because God had already declared his judgment against them. So they were begging Enoch to write a prayer request that they can be singing it, so that one day God can forgive them. So after Enoch wrote this prayer and went to them, but the funniest thing is that God didn't forgive them. You now get it. God didn't forgive them in the vision. So Enoch had to go back and tell them. I related in the presence of all the vision which I had seen, and my eyes, and began to utter these words of righteousness, reproving the watchers of heaven. This is the book of the word of righteousness, and of the reproof of the watchers who belong to the world, according to that which he who is holy and great commanded in the vision. I perceived in my dreams that I was now speaking with a tongue of flesh, and with my breath which the Almighty One has put unto the mouth of men, that they might converse with it, and understand with their heart, as he has created and given to men the power of comprehending the words of understanding. So has he created and given to me the power of reproving the watchers, the offsprings of heaven. I have written your petition, and in my vision it has been shown me, and my vision it has been shown me that what you request will not be granted for as long as the world endures. Judgment has been passed upon you. Your request will not be granted you. From time forward, never shall you ascend into heaven. He has said, on the earth he will bind you, and as long as the world endures. But before the things you shall behold the destruction of your beloved sons. You shall not possess them, but they shall fall before you by the sword. Neither shall you entreat for them, nor for yourselves, but you shall weep and supplicate in silence. The words of the book which I wrote, a vision does appear to me. Behold, in that vision cloud, and a mist invited me. Agitated stars and flashes of lightning impelled and pressed me forward, while wind in the vision assisted my flight, accelerating my progress. They elevated me aloft to heaven. I proceeded until I arrived at the wall built with stones of crystals. A vibrating flame surrounded it, which began to strike me with terror. Into these vibrating flames I entered, and drew nigh to the spacious habitation built also with stones of crystals. Its walls too, as well as pavement, were formed with stones of crystals, and crystals likewise was the ground. Its roof had appeared of agitated stars and flashes of lightning, and among them were cherubims of fire in the stormy sky. A flame burned around it, and its portal blazed with fire. While I entered into this dwelling, it was hot with fire. It was hot as fire, and cold as ice. No trace of delight or of life was there. Terror overwhelmed me, and a fearful shaking seized me, violently agitating and trembling. I fell upon my face. In the vision I looked, and behold, there was another habitation more spacious than the former, every entrance to which was open before me, erected in the midst of the vibrating flame. So greatly did it excel in all points, in glory, in magnificence, and in magnitude, that it is impossible to describe to you either splendor or the extent of it. Its floor was on fire, above were lightning and agitated stars, while its roof inhabited a blazing fire. And attentively I surveyed it, and saw that it contained an exalted throne, the appearance of which was like that of frost, while its circumference resembled the orb of the brilliant sun. And there was a voice of the cherubim from underneath their mighty throne, revived the flames of fire. To look upon it was impossible. One great in the glory sat upon it, whose robe was brighter than the sun and whiter than snow. No angel was capable of penetrating to view the face of him, the glorious and the effulgent, nor could any mortal behold him. A fire was flaming around him. A fire of great extent continued to rise up before him, so that not one of those who surrounded him was capable of approaching him. Among the myriad who were there before him, to him holy consultation was needless, yet did not the sanctified who were near him departed far from him, either by night or by day, nor were they removed from him. Excuse me. I also was so far advanced with a veil on my face and trembling. Then the Lord with his own mouth called me, saying, Approach hither, Enoch, at my holy word. And he raised me up, making me draw near even to the entrance. My eyes was directed to the ground. Then addressing me, he spoke and said, Hear, neither be afraid, O righteous Enoch, thou script of righteousness. Approach hither and hear my voice. Go say to the watchers of heaven, who have sent thee to pray for them. You ought to pray for men, and not men for you. Wherefore have you forsaken the lofty and the holy heaven, which endures forever, and have laid with women, have defiled yourselves with the daughters of men, have taken to yourselves wives, have acted like the sons of the earth, and have begotten an impious offspring. You being spiritual, holy, and possessing a life which is eternal, have polluted yourself with women, have begotten in carnal blood, have lusted in the blood of men, and have done as those who are flesh and blood do. Lord have mercy. Those, however, died and perished. Therefore have I given to them wives, that they might cohabit with them, that sons might be born to them, and that this might be transacted upon the earth. But you from the beginning were made spiritual, possessing a life which is eternal, and not subject to death forever. Therefore I made not wives for you, because being spiritual, your dwelling is in heaven. Now the giants who live being born of spirit and of flesh shall be called upon the evil spirit, and on earth shall be their habitation. Evil spirits shall proceed from their flesh, because they created from above. From the holy watchers was their beginning and primary foundation. Evil spirit shall there be upon earth, and the spirit of the wicked shall there be called. The habitation of the spirit of heaven shall be in heaven, but upon the earth shall be the habitation terrestrial spirit who are born on the earth. The spirit of the giant shall be like cloud, which shall oppress, corrupt, fall, content, bruise upon the earth. They shall cause lamentation. No food shall they eat, and they shall be thirsty. They shall be conceived, and shall not one rise upon the sons of men, and against women, for they come forth during the days of slaughter and destruction. And as to the death of the giant, whosoever their spirit departs from their bodies, let their flesh, that which is perishable, be without judgment. Thou shalt perish until the days of the great consummation of the great world. A destruction shall take place of the watchers and the impious. And now to the watchers who have sent thee to pray for them, who in the beginning were in heaven. Say, in heaven have you been. In heaven have you been. Secret things, however, have not been manifested to you, yet have you known a reprobated mystery, and this you have related to women in the hardness of your heart, and by that mystery have women and mankind multiplied evil upon the earth. Say to them, never therefore shall you obtain peace. They raised me up into a certain place where there was the appearance of the burning fire, and went there pleased there assumed the likeness of men. They carried me to a lofty spot, to a mountain, the top of which reached the heaven, and heard the receptacle of light and thunder at the extremities of the place where it was deepest. There was a bow of fire, an arrow in their quiver, a sword of fire, and every species of light. Then they elevated me to the babbling stream, and to the fire in the west, which received all the settings of the sun. I came to a river of fire which flowed like water, and emptied itself into the great sea westward. I saw every large river until I arrived at the great darkness. I went to the wheel of all flesh migrated, and I beheld the mountain of the groom which constitutes winter, and the place from which issued the water in its abyss. I saw also the mouths of all the rivers in the world, and the mouths of the ships. I then surveyed the receptacle of all the wind, perceiving that they contributed to adorn the whole creation, and to perceive the foundation of the earth. I surveyed the stones which support the corners of the earth. I also beheld the four winds which bear up the earth, and the firmament of heaven. And I beheld the wind occupying the exalted sky, arising in the midst of heaven and of earth, and constituting the pillar of heaven. I saw the wind which turned the sky, which caused the orb of the sun and of all the stars to set, and over the earth I saw wind which support the cloud. I saw the parts of angels. I perceived at the extremity of the earth and firmament of heaven above it. Then I passed on towards the south, were burnt both by day and night, 6 mountains form of glorious stones. Therefore towards the east and 3 towards and 3 towards the south. Those which were towards this east of variegated stones, one of which was margareted, and the other of atonement. Those towards the south were of the red stones. The middle one reached to the heavens like the stones of the throne of God, a throne composed of alabaster, and top which was sapphire. I saw 2, a blazing fire hanging over one all the mountains, and there I saw a place on the other side of which extended territory where water were collected. I likewise beheld terrestrial foundation deep in the fiery columns of heaven, and in the columns of heaven I beheld fire, which descended without number, but neither on high nor unto the deep. Over these foundations also I perceived a place which had neither the firmament of the heavens above it, nor the solid ground underneath it, neither was there water above it, nor anything on which, but the spot was delicate. Father, have mercy. Then I beheld 7 stars. I beheld 7 stars like great blazing mountain, and like spirit entreating me. Then the angel said, This place unto the consummation of heaven and the earth will be the prison of the stars and the hosts of the heavens. Then the stars which will fire all those which transgressed the commandment of God before their time arrived, for they came not in their proper season. Therefore was he offended with them, and bound them unto the period of consummation of their crime in the sacred year. Then Uriah said, Hear the angels who cohabited with women, appointed their leaders, and being numerous in appearance, made men profane, and caused them to err, so that they sacrifice to devils as to gods. For in the great day there shall be a judgment, with which they shall be judged until they are consumed, and their wives also shall be judged, who led astray the angels of heaven, that they might salute them. And I, Enoch, I alone saw the likeness of the end of all things, nor did any human being see it as I saw it. There is the name of the angels who watch: Uriah, the one of the holy angels who preside over clamor and terror; Raphael, one of the holy angels who presided over the spirit of men; Raguel, one of the holy angels who inflicted punishment on the world and the luminaries; Michael, one of the holy angels who presiding over human virtue, commands the nation. Sarakel, one of the holy angels who presided over the spirit of the children of men that transgressed. Gabriel, one of the holy angels who presided over Akisat, over paradise and over cherubims. Thank you guys for this day. Thank you for this reading, and it has been a great one. I hope you have been blessed. See you. Have a great evening.